back, ladies and gentlemen, Gungans and droids across our beloved empire. We are back with yet another episode review of Obi-Wan Kenobi with the astounding co-host, Mobile Gamer.
I got my glasses on. I got to pull it off like you, right?
Yeah, the tactical scanners, right? If you say it wrong, people I think I said testicle scanners. Oh, thank you guys so much for coming. Hopefully you're enjoying this. We gotta say this straight from the get-go. This is the best episode so far of Obi-Wan Kenobi, but there's some stuff we gotta talk about still here. So if you're enjoying this series, make sure you leave that like, because every person who likes today's video, we got a special giveaway again at the very end. Hopefully you've been getting the other ones so far.
Yes.
All right, so let's do our non-spoiler review first. You guys know the drill. Mobile Gamer, what's your rating out of 5 stars for episode 5 of Obi-Wan Kenobi?
This is my favorite episode, but I think that if I could go back and revisit my ratings of my other episodes and drop them down, this one would be just slightly above. But yeah, it's I have this weird love-hate, and we're going to talk about it, this love-hate relationship with this entire series.
It's definitely a love-hate. So again, this for me, so what was your star count? What'd you do? Like ignoring your other ones?
4.5. Yeah, I don't know. 4,
so you probably lowered the other ones down and raised this one up.
Yes, yes, because I still have some serious issues with this episode. Yeah,
same here. So I think I'm with you here. It's the episode could have been perfect. There's just some really annoying things. Like we were talking before, I feel like you got to turn your brain off when you watch this show to fully enjoy and not get bogged down in details. I think that's the best way to enjoy Kenobi. So I think it's somewhere in that 4 or 4.5. It's not 5 territory, not a perfect 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5, but there's some really cool stuff. And of course, we know Vader's here at this point. If you think that's a spoiler, I'm surprised you've made it this far in the world without knowing Vader's in the Kenobi show. Really cool to see some stuff. He's the best, but he makes some questionable decisions still. He's having a hard time following his own advice. And there were some flashback scenes and seeing a key actor that I was wondering why we haven't seen more of them, but it's great seeing them make that cameo appearance in here. Otherwise, the episode was mostly enjoyable, but there are just still some annoyances. Let's get into the spoiler territory! What do you want to say first with the spoiler territory here, now that people are in the clear?
Rogue One quality Darth Vader action scenes are the best. Cool. Unbelievable. Every core Star Wars fan bone of my body loves that and craves that, wants to see more, and it was the best. It was amazing.
We were saying, like, that's what we were hoping to see more of in this Kenobi show. Like, that's when all of a sudden, like, you know, you kind of have your brain turned off. You're trying to ignore all these little details to try to enjoy, because we want to love Star Wars. We're not those people that want to find every reason to dislike and hate Star Wars, so we try our best to kind of just turn our minds off a little bit and just enjoy the show. But the second Vader does something, like our first time in cinema history, really, seeing Vader dual wield lightsabers and just completely toy with Reva. It's like when I started seeing Reva fight Vader, I was like, oh man, they're gonna just make Reva something overpowered and completely school Vader. No chance. Vader literally played her, gave her even a chance. Like, he was being nice, like, hey, here's part of your lightsaber here. Try your best. It's like, man, even when Reva thought she had the head start on him, it's like, man, that was the Vader we want to see. Like, a guy on a whole other level of lightsaber combat and force usage. And even though we're going to talk more about our problems with the show, seeing Vader pull down the ship and just completely tear it apart.
Come on. That's cool until it wasn't, right?
It was cool. The joke going on in the community right now for Star Wars is that it's like playing a Star Wars video game where your stamina depletes when you use the Force, and the reason why he couldn't pull the other ship because he had to wait for it to recharge.
Well, not only that, why couldn't he pull Kenobi from the fire, like through the fire to him? Like, if he can do that ship that's trying to get away from him, right?
Tear it apart limb for limb,
There's so many things, doesn't make any sense. Anyways.
Yeah, I mean, well, this goes back. I want to show this funny clip I found.
Oh my god!
The ship here.
Gotcha, bitch.
There's just a lot of conveniences, and it does annoy me how many times Vader just lets Kenobi escape. It kind of feels like, although there's a lot of great action sequences, I feel like I'm watching him watch ships fly away just as much.
I mean, we can back up a little bit. I want to say I want to say that I was worried that this was all going to be about Leia, and like I have mixed feelings about her as an actress, a child actress. I mean, kids can be adorable or not, or you know, I think it's very hard. And then with Reva, I just wanted more about Reva than just this screaming, angry. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like she was just like she had this very like monotone acting, and because I understand
she's very linear.
I understand.
Yeah, she was in the Queen's Gambit.
Actress.
Yeah, I like the Queen's Gambit a lot.
She was literally just angry or angry or angry or more angry, and it was like, and so I feel like this episode kind of balanced that out a little bit. You know, it wasn't too much about Leia, which was fine. I feel like that there's a story arc to Reva. She's more agreeable. Like when I heard she was getting a TV show, I was like, you got to be kidding me. Based on what we know already, not good. You know, if you get rid of like the Darth Vader scene and how cool that was, I feel like any 8th grader could have wrote a better plot that made more sense than this TV shows right now. Because like there's so many plot holes. It's like it's so annoying to watch. And like, just kill the people off, or make it so that it's not like obvious, like they couldn't, or give them a reason why they can't. It feels like it wouldn't be that hard to show somebody this script and say, does this make sense at all, and rewrite it so that it does make sense. Like, who approves these scripts? It's not like there's George Lucas that insists that everything be a certain way and everybody says yes. Like, they actually have a committees. It's actually Disney. I mean, they could put together a animation Pixar thing with like a perfect plot. Have you ever noticed that? Like, because they you know, because they can't revise it in editing. It has to be done perfectly the first time around. And I feel like they don't do that on this live action stuff. It just blows my mind. Like, if they were set out to make like an animated Star Wars show, you think it would be written better because they know it's hard to fix. And I think they just don't on this. There's something wrong with their process altogether.
I don't know. Maybe the problem is we know how Kenobi obviously survives this whole episode, right? And so maybe they just, but there's ways to move the plot going without making it overly convenient and just these overly it seems uncharacteristic. For example, let me back up to the point on Reva. That's obviously one of the biggest things. Finally seeing that, firstly, Reva, I think we kind of figured out why she kind of knew how Vader was Anakin Skywalker. We saw a little glimpse of the first episode of Order 66. Like, that probably looks like Reva as a youngling, and of course it was. There was a kind of the story there was a little interesting with the Jedi Temple raid, how she played dead. Like, how do you play dead when he was right in front of you? Like, did he? I don't know. It's kind of, there's some weird things with that. You would maybe she survived. You know, maybe she only got shot by a clone trooper. But if she was fighting Anakin, I find it unlikely that she would survive a fight. But at least we know how she knows, because one of the concerns people had is like there was no way Vader would confide this information in an Inquisitor, and she just happened to know, but just by she made the deduction. And it's like, okay, I felt something different with Reva this time around. So there's more of a character build up here. But again, the Vader fight was absolutely amazing. Reva just did not stand a chance, but I found it very uncharacteristic that Vader just stabbed her and let her be. You know, I feel like he would just see, like, you know, especially like other encounters we've seen like in Fallen Order and whatnot, when Vader encountered the second sister, he finished her off right there and then.
Vader obviously knew that she was bad or evil, right? Because Grand Inquisitor's there, right?
Yeah.
And so like, I'm still like hung up on that. Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, how does he know all this stuff? I just have to delete that and like move on, right? And then not finishing her off, that doesn't make sense. I just kind of have to like, well, of course they can't just, slice her in half because she needs to move on. Although in Star Wars, people don't really ever die. I mean, Darth Maul got sliced in half.
Yeah, it's gotten to a really weird point where it's like the Grand Inquisitor, I'm here. It's like, oh, okay, hey, welcome back to the show. It's like there was like zero intel, zero like any sort of, maybe episode 6 we'll see how the Grand Inquisitor got back on its feet. But they're making this, you and I both know we knew right away, even though people thought they retconned Rebels, they killed off the Grand Inquisitor, we knew right away they didn't kill. There was no way they were going to undo Rebels, Dave Filoni's work and all that. We knew he was going to be alive, but it would have been kind of cool to see
I just
how he
don't
survived.
like this. gotcha. I made you think one thing
I'm still alive.
and not another, and you're still alive. They don't need to do that. I mean,
at least Maul, the revived story of him, like we saw Maul be completely broken and he was in pieces, and we kind of saw how he survived. Death needs more finality, and if you are going to bring someone back from what it would appear to be a death, I feel like they got to give a lot more effort to why they came back, like, for example, Maul.
Same thing with Vader pulling down the ship. Haha, there's nobody in it. We got you. What's the upside to them doing that to the audience? I don't get it at all. I'm worried about thinking too much and not liking this show. I really am starting to worry about it.
We do. Okay, as we said, we like the show. We're going to give it a start. I feel like, sometimes we get into these little things that drive us crazy. We do still like the show. It's better than the last episode for sure. And I'm hoping the final episodes, it's going to be banger. Hopefully some more Vader action, some more Kenobi action here. I do want to talk about one more thing, but it was great finally seeing Hayden show up, because I was kind of wondering, it's like, all right, why has he been needed for this show so far? So it's really cool to finally see Hayden show up. I guess the main thing that was pulled me back for a second, because this was supposed to take place somewhere in episode 2 prior to episode 3. Kenobi and Vader, spoiler alert, Anakin Skywalker training. He looked, I feel like they could have done something de-aging. There was a fantastic video that someone made in less than a day de-aging him. And
with like a 1,000 subscriber channels, did a better job de-aging him. Hey, so because like I'm looking at this clip right when I saw that clip, I was like, oh, this is cool. I really like it. And this is new footage. This is not repurposed, unused footage back from the early 2000s. Yeah, it's brand new. It's brand new footage, and it was cool to see that. But I knew right away, it was like, oh yeah, that's definitely
him in his 40s.
De-aged, or they didn't really de-age him that much.
The fact that with all this money and such a big IP, it sometimes feels a little fan filmy. But like here, it's one of those things that seems pretty simple. And the fact I love that someone with less than a day, some random person on YouTube was able to do this in less than a day. Makes you wonder if they would have just put a little bit more time over at Disney. This probably was something easy. Again, it doesn't take away. It was great seeing him, but when you know the timeline, and obviously we all age, he looks great in his 40s and whatnot. But it's just, the simple things could have kept the immersion in there, and not like there's too many taking you out of the moment situations. And that was only very brief. It was really cool to see them train, and kind of seeing both Vader and Kenobi kind of refer to that battle to understand their battle tactics, which by the way,
that was great. I thought that was great as far as storytelling, other than being taken out of it. But I thought it was great.
Vader knows how Kenobi's gonna act, and Kenobi knows how Vader is. He's very impulsive. He always has this determination. He blinds himself with just getting the victory, but he kind of blinds himself on the little gotcha moments. And again, it's funny, we haven't been talking about this at all either, but another great thing about this show, again, seeing Kenobi's story arc, where he's back to that General Kenobi taking charge, making plans. So it's I feel like, I don't know, do you have any complaints about Kenobi at this point? I feel like Kenobi's kind of where I want him to be at this point.
We definitely need to see a finale.
Oh, of course, obviously.
And so I feel like they've led us down that path to see something amazing at the end for sure.
I mean, he's willing to put his life on the line, risk everything, and so it's definitely nice seeing that. We got the kid. It's not 5 episodes in and Kenobi's still hiding in a dumpster or something like that. So that's the cool thing about this. And how about we talk about the final part of the episode? Obviously, we talked a lot about Reva not dying. Of course, it's more for convenience. She's got to get her. It seems like allegedly she's going to be getting her own spin-off show. Not sure what it's going to be quite yet. I do want to say, though, I was right that she was going to get a redemption arc and not a...
You were right.
Yeah.
I actually
you thought they were going to dispose
her so much that I thought that couldn't even be possible. Like, I just liked her so much.
Yeah, so Vader didn't kill her off, which I think is highly uncharacteristic, or at least let Grand Inquisitor get the kill. I think that would have been really satisfying. She gets to Kenobi's what's it called, a Cyanide Hollow projector, which for a galaxy of Earth people, so super important piece of gear that you need. Conveniently, it was not completely destroyed, and Reva gets intel about Owen and the boy.
That part kind of confused me, and I don't know what's going to happen, and I'm looking forward to what that means in the last episode. I feel like really what it is just going to lead to some sort of final showdown on Tatooine is what it's leading towards.
I mean, maybe how it's going to end is maybe you think Reva and Kenobi are going to have their own showdown, and Kenobi's gonna kill Reva?
I don't think it's Reva. I think Reva is gonna move towards the good, right?
Okay.
If they're gonna make a TV
Well, they
show
made
about
it,
her. That's,
yeah. You know, there's always misdirection of Star Wars lately, so who knows? Maybe they're making it seem like that Reva wants to kill Luke. I mean, spoiler alert, Luke doesn't die. Unless they kill him and he somehow comes back.
hey, but they can just retcon everything, right?
And with that said, we have the giveaway for today.
Yeah. This is probably going to be the best giveaway ever for
Oh, you already got it?
Star Wars
Oh, boy,
fan.
I don't even know what it is.
I really hope you like this video today, because if you did, you are in luck. For every single Galaxy of Hero player that likes this video, you will be getting for free in your account an 8-star dual wielding Darth Vader.
This is not a scam.
But anyways, guys, thank you so much for coming out. Leave that like, comment down below, subscribe. Hope you're enjoying the series. It's been fun talking about this, and let's get ready for episode 6 next week. Fingers crossed. Our minds are going to be blown. My mind hasn't been blown yet, but I think if this is an indication, they might be able to push that limit next week. So stay tuned. And as always, remember that it's great to be in the Empire today. Wade! Where's the Wade sequel?